Guys, my hands are like ice cubes. Oh, I've got to warm them up. Are we okay? Got a bit of a shadow, haven't we? That way a little bit. What's causing that shadow there then? It's probably my unit, I think. So we'll start in a moment, okay, because I've still got about a minute to go anyway. We are reopening tomorrow, okay? So classes, let me just grab my book. Tomorrow, you'll start back and you'll have, what day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. I'll look in the right part of my book. Tomorrow you will have Pilates at 6:15 and HIIT at 7:15. Now, HIIT is just a half an hour class, okay? So it's quite a nice one. If you've had a month off and you think, oh, I'm not quite ready, half an hour, yeah? Pilates first maybe, at 45 minutes, floor-based. Yeah, that'd be quite nice. We've still got classes during the day, which I'll do online. I'll stick to the kind of timetable that we've already put out. So tomorrow morning it would be Pilates as well anyway. Just turn my phone off. Start back. There we go. So make sure you've got a drink nearby as well for this class. Just managed to drip it on the carpet, that's okay. So, if you've got knee problems, back problems, you've got wrist problems, anything like that, I'm going to give you options as we go, alright? If there's anything that you would like maybe a little bit of advice about, don't be afraid to just drop me a message, okay, and I'll see if I can help you. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but I do know certain things with joint problems and mobility issues. I might be able to give you some advice for those, so let me know. But work where you feel comfortable, rest whenever you need to, get a drink whenever you need one. And that is about it, I think. If we do anything which is uncomfortable, obviously just have a little rest and then join back in when you can. Remember to breathe properly all the way through. I'm going to tell you about your breathing. I'm going to tell you how to make sure your core muscles and your neutral spine are in place as well when we get in a standing position. And then once we're down on the floor, we stay down on the floor, okay? I'm hoping my heating's going to click on in a minute. Oh, I did step at lunchtime and the heating was on, so I was dripping wet. And then now I'm freezing cold and got a low impact class. The radiators haven't come on. I'll keep my jumper on until I feel warm. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of a warm up, standing up, just to get you ready, not jumping around or anything like that. It's more just to mobilise the body out and get ready for the exercises that you're going to be doing once we start. Okay, so should we make a start? Standing nice and upright, nice and tall, facing forwards. Shoulders down, relaxed. Let me just start my timer, otherwise it'll be like a 4-hour class instead of a half an hour. Good. So, making sure toes and knees point forward, shoulders are down and relaxed. Your body weight should be even and central. You shouldn't feel like you're lopsided or leaning more one way than the other. Then we need to find our neutral spine. So all we're doing is just tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. We're finding the position where your back feels the most comfortable. You've got that nice long spine, but you've got that natural lordotic curve in place, neutral spine. So I need you to maintain that from this point on. Then your core muscles, I want you to think about your pelvic floor. So that's the group of muscles that you would use if you were going to stop mid-flow. Okay, so I want you to imagine those muscles. I want you to imagine a lift, and you've got 10 floors on the lift. So I want you to draw it up from within as high as you can to floor number 10. Now that's quite hard to maintain. So you're going to take it down to floor 5, and then down to floor number 3, and that's where you're going to leave it. Think of it as 100%, 50%, and then we're at 30% engagement. You know you're drawing it up, but it's not too uncomfortable, and you can maintain it. That's the most important part. Then imagine you've got a belt around your middle with 10 notches on the belt. Pull the belt into notch number 10, so tummy as tight as it can. Out to notch 5, out to notch 3, and leave it there. So your core muscles set and engage. Neutral spine in place. The next thing you need to think about is your breathing. So you're going to place your hands on your rib cage. Don't let the hands move. you're going to breathe from the ribs. So take a deep breath in, open the rib cage and release. Take a deep breath in and release. Lateral thoracic breathing, breathing from your rib cage. So just begin to pedal through your feet one side to the other, raising up the alternating heel, and allow your shoulders to gently rotate one way and the other way. Good. Place your feet down, lift all the way up onto the toes, lengthen the body and release. And again, lift up, lengthen and release. One more time, all the way up onto the toes and release. You're going to take a step and reach, up and over, other side. Lengthen through the waist. Always come back to this central position. Reach up and over. One last one here. And then hold it in the middle. You're going to take a forward lunge, dropping the back knee. Rotate towards the leg. Bring it in and back to the middle. Alternate. Turn in to your front leg. So lunge forward, drop the back knee. Flatten the front foot. Rotate into that front leg. Good. So you're rotating into the leg. And you're bending and dropping that back knee. Good. You'll do one more to each side for me, please. Whoop. Last one here. And then hold it in the middle. Good. Allow your hips to circle one way and the other. Lovely. And then hold it still and central. Take one foot forward, circle the leg round, lift the knee up and balance. Toe comes forward, circle round, lift the knee up and balance. One more time. Toe forward, circle round, lift and balance only as far as comfortable for you. Ankle one way and the other, and then place the foot down. Other leg, point the toe forward. Circle round, lift the knee and balance. Toe forward, circle round, lift the knee and balance. One more time. Toe forward, circle round, lift, balance, hold it here. Use the wall for balance if you need to, guys. One way, then the other, and then place that foot down. So you're going to stand towards the back of your mat, or the end of your mat. You're going to breathe in, tuck the chin into the chest. Breathe out and gently begin to roll down through your back. Softening your knees, allow your arms to hang and relax. And then when you're ready, carefully begin to roll back up. Rebuild the spine. As you reach the top, relax the shoulders, reset your posture. Breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, gently roll down through the back. Soften your knees, allow the arms to hang and relax like wet spaghetti. Then when you are ready, carefully begin to roll back up. Rebuild the back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you get to the top, relax the shoulders down. So we're going to be rolling down and we're going to be coming down to the mat, okay? So breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, gently roll down. Now at your lowest point, you're going to walk your hands forwards and lower the knees down to the floor. Back is nice and flat. Good. You're going to breathe in, curl your toes under, lift up your knees, breathe out. Good, and then gently release, reset the feet. Breathe in, curl the toes under. And then breathe out to gently release. Breathe in, curl the toes, lift the knees. Breathe out, gently lower, release the feet. So you're coming up, bringing the knees between 6 to 10 inches off the floor. Back remains neutral. Don't allow your back to dip or arch. Nice, flat, neutral spine. Breathe in, bringing the knees up. Breathe out, release down. Now if you need to, You can always do one at a time if you can't come up onto those toes. You're going to do one more for me, please. The bear. And then release. Hands are going to come out slightly wider than the shoulders and chest. Breathe in, bring the chest forward and down. Breathe out to push back up. So you're going to breathe in to bring the chest down between the hands. And then breathe out to push back up. Now level 1 is here in a box position. If you want level 2, legs go further back. Breathe in to lower. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lower. Breathe out to lift. If you want level 3, up on those toes, full push up. It's your choice of levels. Breathing in to bring the chest forward and down. Breathing out to push yourself back up. Core muscles pulled up, back is neutral, tight around the centre of the body. You're using a whole breath in to lower. And you're using a whole breath out to lift up. So it's much slower than a normal conventional press up, yeah? It's a Pilates push up, slow and controlled. I'm going to ask you please for one more. Once you've done that one, I want you to bring those hands back in, wrist, elbow, shoulder, all in line with each other. Back is flat, tummy is drawn up, breathe in. As you breathe out, push one leg all the way back along the floor and then breathe in and drag the leg back in. Other leg, breathe out, push it away. Breathe in to drag it back in. Now your back remains flat and still. What I don't want you to do is lean over to the side. You've got to remain central. Extending the leg as far as it will go and then drawing it back in. If you want to go to the next level, breathe out, fully extend and raise, no higher than the body. Then breathe in, touch the toe down and draw the leg back in. So your leg has to be straight before it comes up. Toes touch down before you draw it back in. Breathe out to lengthen and raise. Breathe in to lower and draw it back in. Strengthening through the core and the lumbar spine. Lengthen, raise, lower, draw it back in. You want to go further, opposite hand can slide along the floor. And then if you want to go further, opposite hand slides out, lifts at the same time as the leg, fingers and toes touch down, and then draw back in. So everything is controlled. Everything remains central. We're not tilting from side to side. Swimming, strengthening through the core and the lumbar spine. So please complete one more on each side. Once you've completed those two, gently allow yourself to lower all the way down. Now your forearms and elbows are down and you're looking down roughly between your wrists, okay? From here, draw the pelvis up, level number 1 of the leg pull. Level 2, curl the toes under, lift the knees up off the floor. You're drawing up through the middle of the body, through the tummy, through the core. I just take my jumper off, you'll see that my belly is lifted up, it's not dropped down. So it's drawn up, so you've got that space underneath the body. Or coming up here into this position. So holding whichever one is suitable for you. If you begin to shake or wobble, it's a sign of muscle fatigue. So take a rest and then join back in when you're ready. Keep tightened around the middle of the body. Don't allow that back to dip, okay? So in your leg pull, I'm going to ask you please for up to 3 more breaths. Up to 3. So if you can only manage 2, that's okay. And when you've done your 3, gently lowering all the way down onto your front. And I want you to fully extend the body, bringing the arms forwards and the legs out. So when you do this, your forehead is down, okay? Otherwise, you don't have the alignment in your neck. So point the fingers, point the toes, head is down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, one arm and the opposite leg lift up. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to release. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to release. And the important part here is to keep the arm and leg as straight as possible. Don't lift it and bend it. It's got to stay as straight as possible. Don't try and overlift because then you'll hyperextend your back, yeah? So make sure you only lift as far as comfortable. Any problems, you could lift just the arm or just the leg, okay? Breathe out as you lift, in as you release. Point the fingers, point the toes. Core muscles in place. Breathe out as you lift, in as you release. Strengthen through the center of the body, through your core. Breathe out as you raise, in as you lower. I'm going to ask you please for one more with each side. So this exercise is also swimming, but it's laying on our fronts rather than on all fours. So if you do suffer with knee problems, you can always come down and lay on your front to do that exercise instead of staying on all fours, okay? When you've done those repetitions, you're going to gently bring those arms back, coming back to our second leg pull. Draw up through the belly button, knees down, level 1, knees up, level 2. Now your wrists have had a rest. We've done the push-up, we've done the bear, a lot of pressure on the wrists. So if you wanted to, now they've had a rest, level 3, you can come up onto your hands. Again, make sure that the back doesn't dip down. Lengthen through the spine, through the core, pull up through the belly button. You've got to have that tightened feeling around the center of your body. Deep, full breaths, yeah? Breathing from the rib cage. Hold breath in, hold breath out. In your leg pull, at your chosen level, please complete 3 more repetitions. When you completed your 3, you're going to gently allow yourself to lower, and you're going to turn yourself onto one side. Now I want you to imagine that you're laying between 2 pieces of glass, so you can't roll forward, you can't lay backwards. Head rests down on the arm, look straight ahead. So literally from here I can see there's something underneath my sofa. Yeah. Hand is there for balance, and I bet I know what it is as well, because my husband sits there to eat his dinner sometimes, so it's going to be a P. That's what it is. Lengthen the legs. Point the toes, hand is down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, raise both those legs. Now, as soon as those legs lifted, your obliques, your waist, began to work, okay? So even if you don't do anything else other than hold and stay here, you're still working, all right? We are going to be moving the top leg. Breathe in. As you breathe out, kick the top leg forwards. Then breathe in to return. Breathe out, kick the top leg forwards. Breathe in to return. Now I'd like you to take the leg backwards and then bring it back in. So you notice, please, although my bottom leg is shaking, I'm not actually allowing it to move forwards or backwards. I'm keeping it in position. Top leg is going to come forward, back to the center, and then backwards. All without rolling your hips or moving that bottom leg. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, take it away. Breathe out to kick. Breathe in to return. Now straight away, I've taken this supporting hand away, and what you'll notice is my movements have become smaller. That is because I'm not relying on my arm to keep me balanced. I'm relying on my core muscles to keep me there. Good. So I'm going to ask you please for one more kick forward, one more kick backwards. When you've completed those two, legs together. I want you to keep your legs stuck together like glue. Breathe in, they lower an inch from the floor. Breathe out, they come back up. Breathe in, they lower. Breathe out, they come back up. Breathe in, they lower, don't quite touch down. Breathe out, they lift back up. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, take it away. Good. Breathe out as you lift, in as you release. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in and engaged. So I'm going to ask you with your side raised, please, for 2 more repetitions. Once you've completed those 2, you can allow those legs to lower. By all means, give that hip a little bit of a rub if you need to. And then I want you to push yourself to sit. Good. So as you come into this seated position, we've got our legs bent, feet, knees, hips distance apart. We haven't got those legs together. Hands can be there for a little bit of support if you need them to be. Chin is up off the chest, and we've lengthened our spine. We haven't sat here and slouched, yeah? Not there. We've lengthened our back. Good. Okay. So you're going to breathe in, tilt the pelvis under. Breathe out and lower yourself down. Then breathe in, start the lift. Breathe out, continue the lift all the way back up. Breathe in and tilt, chin stays off the chest. Breathe out and lower. Now you might only get to there, guys. Breathe in, start to lift. Breathe out, continue all the way up. So only go as far as comfortable for you, okay? So breathe in to tilt, breathe out to lower. If you can get all the way down, that's brilliant, guys. But you've got to remember, however far you go down, you've got to get back up without letting these feet lift or these knees to wobble, yeah? Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to gently lower. Breathe in, start the lift, breathe out, continue all the way up. Chin off the chest, lengthen through the back, strengthen through the core. So this is your roll up. Lowering through the back, lifting with the core. Don't allow yourself to just drop down. Control that movement. So in your roll up, I'd like you please, only going as far as comfortable for you, to complete 1 more repetition. When you've completed that 1, well done. I'd ask you to gently lower all the way down onto your back and keep your legs bent. Just stick my hair through that little gap there, that's better. And my back's nice and flat then. Shoulders down, relaxed, core muscles in. Make make sure your back feels comfortable. So wriggle a few times if you need to, so you've got that comfortable spine position. Shoulders down, core muscles in place. Now take a breath in, and as you breathe out, bring your right leg up into a right angle. The shin is facing the ceiling. The knee is above the hip. So this level here is level 1 of the 100, the 100 exercise, okay? Now if you wanted to go further, you could bring the other leg up, make sure they stay apart, level 2. Again, make sure back feels comfortable. If you want to go further, bring up the upper body, chin off the chest, breathe in, breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in as you breathe out. Now if you've been doing Pilates for a long while, you know your back is strong enough, you know your core is strong enough, you can lengthen those legs out to 45 degrees. Only if it's comfortable. Any niggling pain in your lower back, then keep the legs bent. One leg is level 1. Add the pulse here if you want to for level 2. Or have both legs raised with or without the pulse. Or both legs lengthened 45 degrees. Deep full breaths from the rib cage, remember. I'm going to ask you please, at your level, for 2 more breaths. Maybe you just want the legs lifted on their own, without the pulse. If your legs are extended, you need to bring them back to right angles. If your upper body is raised, please lower it down. If you've got both legs lifted, the leg that you originally brought up, first of all, is going to stay up. Okay? Good. Now you're going to keep that leg bent in a right angle. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to touch the foot down. And then you're going to breathe in to bring it back up. Breathe out as you lower. Breathe in as it comes back up. So you're strengthening through the core, through the lower tummy. You're maintaining the angle behind the knee. That is the most important part. We're not allowing the heel to drop. Imagine you've got a ball behind your knee. Don't want to squash it, we don't want to drop it. Breathe out to lower, breathe in to raise. Now you could have both legs lifted, but we're still only going to move one leg only. Breathe out to lower, breathe in to raise. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in, neutral spine in place. I'm going to ask you for 2 more repetitions, please. Then you can allow that foot to come down and bring the other leg up into right angle. Holding it where it is now is your level 1. If you want the next level, both legs up. Make sure neutral spine is in place. Shins facing upwards. Knees above the hips. Level 2. If you want to add the pulse, bring up the shoulders, chin off the chest, breathe in, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to go all the way, lengthen those legs out to 45 degrees. You can stay with one leg lifted and pulse, or even have that leg down and keep the head and shoulders down. It really is up to you. And some days you may feel you can work at a higher level than others. And that's absolutely fine. And it's brilliant if you do find that, because that means you're really listening to what your body is telling you. Sometimes we force ourselves to do it and we end up the next day with maybe a little bit of a backache or something doesn't feel quite right. And although it's good to push yourself out of your comfort zone, it's got to be safe and effective. You don't want to end up with an injury because you've not listened to what your body's saying. I know, I'm being really serious now. I need to stop that rubbish. Good, I'm going to ask you please for 2 more breaths. If you've got your legs lengthened, you're going to bring them back to bend. If you've got the upper body raised, you're going to bring that back down. And if you've got both legs lifted, the leg that's already worked comes back down. Maintaining the right angle. Breathe in. As you breathe out, touch the foot down. Breathe in to lift it back up. Breathe out, touch the foot down. Breathe in, lift it back up. Making sure the supporting knee stays nice and still. So you've got a spirit level across the hips, yeah? Bubbler there, central and still. If you want to go further, you can have both legs raised. But just moving that one leg. Breathing out as you lower, in as you lift. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in and in place. Strengthening from the core, you're working right down through the lower abdominals, through the hip flexor, the top of the leg, where it joins your leg to your abs. And we're making sure we're keeping that knee nice and still. And I'm going to ask you please, for one more repetition of scissor, if you've got both legs lifted, one foot at a time to come down, please. And then feel free to give yourself a nice long body stretch. Good. When you are ready, you're transferring onto that other side. I must just get a drink of water. Lengthen your body out. Nice long line, point your fingers, point your toes. I'm slightly at an angle here, okay, but I am straight. My mat's angled, not my body. Head is resting down on the arm. Make sure you're looking straight ahead. I know it's difficult if you've, like for me, my device is up there, so I often turn my head so I'm looking at the camera. But if you can keep your head in line with the rest of the body, then you're going to work more effectively. Breathe in as you breathe out, raise both legs without rolling forwards or backwards. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in. Legs are lengthened, toes pulled away. Top leg, breathe in. As you breathe out, kick. As you breathe in, return. As you breathe out, kick. As you breathe in, return. It's going to go behind you and then back in. All the time, keeping that bottom leg still. So you're going to have one kick forward, back to the middle, and then one kick back and back to the middle. If you wanted to, if you were able to, you could take away the supporting hand, place it on the thigh. The trick here, or the hard part here, is making sure that that bottom leg stays absolutely still. If I move my bottom leg as well, my movements can become a lot bigger, a lot faster, but I don't want that. I want it to be slow and controlled. So I'm keeping my bottom leg still, and all my focus is then on keeping my posture in place as my top leg moves. So I'm going to ask you please for one more forward and backwards. And then keep those legs lifted together. Keep them stuck together like glue. You're going to gently lower. And then lift all the way back up. You're going to breathe in to gently lower. Breathe out to lift them back up. Keeping those legs in line with your body. As they lower, they don't quite touch the floor. Strengthen through the side of the body, through the obliques. Keeping those legs in line with you. Controlling that movement. Well done. So we're working through the core. We're strengthening through the lumbar spine. and we're working through the obliques right into that waist. So I'm going to ask you please for 2 more here. And when you've done your 2, gently allow those legs to lower. Well done. If you need to rub those legs, those hips or anything, please do so. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring yourself back up into box position. Okay? So I just want you to sit back on your heels and stretch your arms out. Just a little child's pose, just to stretch around the glutes, through the back, through around the shoulders and arms. Good. From there, gently bring yourself back up into box. Your back is flat. Mine's exposed. I don't know about flat. Good. You're going to curl your toes under. Walk back into a crouched position. Now, if you need to use something to hold on to help you stand, that is absolutely fine. But we are going to be coming up onto our feet, so make sure you do it gently, slowly, don't rush. Tuck the chin in, place the feet down, and then gradually in your own time, begin to roll up through your back, rebuild your spine vertebrae by vertebrae. And as you reach the top, head and neck come up last, relax the shoulders down. So we find ourselves back in that lengthened, upright, central position that we started in. Make sure we haven't come up and we're lopsided. We're central, core muscles in place, neutral spine in place. Maybe you've still got a lot to do this evening. If you have, just keep reminding yourself, are my core muscles engaged? Is my neutral spine in place? Yes, yes, all should be good. Well done. Thank you for doing that with me if you joined in then. If you're doing it later, absolutely fine. Just test your balance and lift up onto your toes and release. And again, lift up onto your toes and release. Good, well done. So you have got Pilates back on starting tomorrow night at Witten at 6:15. If you're still not able to get out to the sports centres, then you can join me in the morning at 10 o'clock for Pilates. Tomorrow night I am at Witten, so there'll be no afternoon class live, just the morning class is still going live, okay? And that is that. Take care guys, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.